A Texas police chief, Timothy Dean, has been convicted of a double homicide that took place in Sodus, New York, following a complex investigation that revealed a murder-for-hire plot orchestrated by his wife, Charlene Childers. On October 22, 2018, police responded to a reported shooting and found the bodies of Joshua Niles and his girlfriend, Amber Washburn, in the driveway of their home. Niles was found under his truck, and Washburn was discovered in the driver's seat of her car. The couple's young child was found unharmed in the back seat of Washburn's vehicle. A neighbor told police that a masked man had approached Niles, shot him, and then turned the gun on Washburn as she was pulling into the driveway, shooting her through the windshield. Detectives noted the precise shot that killed Washburn suggested the shooter was an experienced marksman. The investigation unravels. Investigators quickly learned that Joshua Niles was in a contentious custody battle with his ex-girlfriend, Charlene Childers, who had recently lost full custody of their children after a judge deemed her home unsafe. Charlene was married to Timothy Dean, a police chief from Texas who was also facing his own custody dispute after a video surfaced of him hitting his own daughter. Police began to suspect Charlene had a motive and that her husband, an experienced shooter, could have been involved. Charlene was brought in for questioning, where she initially claimed she was in the process of divorcing Timothy and that he had been in Texas at the time of the murders. However, she admitted to picking him up in Wichita, Kansas, after he allegedly drove his car off the road. She claimed she only gave him a ride to a car rental agency. Detectives, however, believe she drove him all the way to New York and helped him plan the murders.
Confessions and Adele during a subsequent interrogation. Charlene finally confessed to telling Timothy that she wished Joshua would just die in a ditch somewhere and at one point told her husband to just shoot him. She insisted she did not believe he would actually carry out the act. When confronted with evidence that she had lied about picking up her husband from a hotel and had helped him secure a rental car without his name on the agreement, Charlene's lawyer advised her to tell the truth to avoid a potential murder charge. Charlene agreed to a plea deal, confessing that she was the one who masterminded the plot. Meanwhile, Timothy Dean was arrested at his home in Texas. During his interrogation, he repeatedly denied his involvement in the murders, despite overwhelming evidence. Detectives presented surveillance footage, witness descriptions, and other compelling evidence linking him to the crime. One detective told Dean that Charlene had already confessed and was putting all the blame on him. Despite the pressure, Dean maintained his innocence, at one point saying he was just traveling somewhere far away. Timothy Dean ultimately pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Charlene Childers pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Following the initial arrests of Timothy Dean and Charlene Childers in the double homicide of Joshua Niles and Amber Washburn, new details have emerged regarding the planning of the murders. Charlene Childers, who initially claimed to be in the dark about her estranged husband's motives, has now confessed to her central role in the plot. According to her testimony, the plan to kill Niles was discussed and finalized in their garage, while the public story was that Timothy needed to rent a car because his vehicle was broken. The real purpose was for him to travel to New York and carry out the murder.
A cold-blooded plan. Childers revealed that Timothy Dean loaded the rental car with an arsenal of weapons, including a shotgun, an AR-15 assault rifle, and body armor, all with her knowledge. The plan, she admitted, was for Timothy to come up and shoot Josh. She claimed that he did not share the specific details, stating it was best if you don't know. The motive, according to Childers, was to get her children back from Niles. She told detectives that she told Timothy, "You just need to do it." She also confessed that she advised him on what to wear and that he had taken a gun from the Sunray Police Department where he was chief. Childers stated that she had told him, "Kill him, just get it done and over with." Sentencing and aftermath. In the end, Charlene Childers was sentenced to 28 years in prison as part of a plea deal where she testified against Timothy Dean. Timothy Dean, however, received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The prosecution argued that Charlene manipulated Timothy, who was madly in love with her, into committing the murders by promising they would be together if she regained custody of her children. The prosecution stated that Charlene planned everything, from renting the car to knowing the time of day Joshua would be at his house. The case highlights the stark difference in sentences between the person who carried out the act and the one who masterminded it. While Dean was the one who pulled the trigger, Childers' testimony paints a picture of a calculated, manipulative plot. The source I got from Red Tree Crime here, the link in description below.